A male doctor saw how attractive a young female patient was, and when she was under full anesthesia, he did something horrifying to her. Though her body couldn't move, her mind was wide awake. She could feel everything that was happening, but all she could do was cry, helpless, paralyzed. News of what happened quickly spread throughout the hospital, but instead of punishment, the men involved were actually promoted. 10 years passed in a blur. That helpless girl had grown into a woman driven by vengeance. Her first target? The anesthesiologist who had once violated her, now a hospital director. He didn't recognize the seductive woman who lured him in, tied up and unable to move. He thought he was in for some kind of twisted fantasy, but what greeted him instead was the cold edge of a knife. Before the police could even begin investigating, another body was found. This time, it was an associate professor at the hospital. Veteran Detective Gene took over the case, and from 2 janitors, he finally heard the ugly truth from a decade ago. 10 years earlier, a girl involved in a car accident was brought into the ER. Her beauty tempted the darkest instincts in those present, including the 2 men who were now dead, but there had been a 3rd man as well. Dr. Lee Jishu, now the director of a prestigious plastic surgery clinic. The killer had already marked him as the final target. Dr. Lee, rattled by the deaths of his old colleagues, became increasingly paranoid, so much so that even during a surgery, he hallucinated the girl from that night standing before him. His growing fear slowly gave way to his true, depraved nature. When a nurse briefly stepped out to get some water, he tried to do the unthinkable to the patient on the table, but the nurse returned in time, and saw everything. Terrified that she'd expose him, Dr. Lee turned on her too, attacking the very colleague he'd worked with for years. But what he didn't realize was that he was already on the killer's hit list. Unfamiliar room. Bound tightly, an old woman leaned in close to his ear, and whispered the truth of what had happened 10 years ago. Then, without warning, she began to strip off his pants, and brought in a large, snarling dog.